All right, welcome to What's Up The Dalles. We're on the cusp of a first Friday event downtown The Dalles. All of us are looking forward to that. And today, as usual, we have Cynthia Corchi from the Dalles Main Street. And our special guest today is Louise Lang-Heinrich with Lines of Design. Thank you both for coming.
Thank you,
Good
Tom.
morning.
Yeah, excellent. So we're gonna go into some interesting new wrinkles with your business, Louise. But first, just a quick introduction. So Cynthia Corchi is a dedicated community leader and advocate based in the Dalles, Oregon, with a strong focus on downtown revitalization, education, and cultural environment and enrichment. Louise, we met back in 2004. We were talking about.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah, I think you were in the Rose Building in the
Yes,
basement when you first
in
got
the
started
basement.
here.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Boulder Path design at that
Yes.
point. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
so cool.
So contract manufacturing, that's what I started with.
Yeah. So Louise is a multifaceted entrepreneur, designer, and community advocate based in the Dalles here, of course. She is best known as the owner of Lines of Designs, a boutique located at 107 East 2nd Street, where she offers custom women's clothing, accessories, and a thoughtfully curated tea selection in a cozy space known as the Tea Nook. So I'm going to let you guys take it from there because I
Yeah.
think there's some new details coming out.
Yeah, so you have a special announcement to make, I think.
Yeah, so it's sort of great to have First Friday happening tomorrow because we're going to be showcasing a mini fabric store inside Lines of Designs. We'll have all the thread racks like what you used to see at Joann's because I bought the thread rack from Joann's.
Smart.
Yeah. So we're going to have that stocked with thread. So right now it'll be a mini fabric store. It'll be a lot of apparel fabrics because it's my rolls that I'm bringing off of my big racks I have.
Okay.
So we've got cottons and linens and tencels and rayons. And,
Okay, great.
and then the whole point is, though, is there's a group of us that are going to be starting a fabric store. So
Okay.
we're not there yet because we're looking for a place that can hold a fabric store here in the Dalles and then all the notions and also having a classroom space.
Oh.
Because we do sewing lessons at my shop right now and it's just a blast. We've
right.
done several series of different classes.
Great. That's so exciting. So getting that up and running, and that's something that's going to be available.
Yeah,
for
so
the community.
fabrics, a mini fabric store with sewing supplies, so like your sewing machine needles and things like that, some of the basics. So we'll have that starting
Thread.
tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay.
If UPS
Everything
shipping
comes-
tracks, yeah.
Everything comes in.
But then we're
Back on the
looking for maybe the early part of next year or the first part of next year is when we're hoping to have a space set up.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's so fantastic. And we really were talking earlier about how important it is to, we don't need to be worrying about, what these big box stores are, leaving and coming and going. And, we need to be focusing on, let's put our dollars into our local businesses. We have everything we could always want here. We have an amazing yarn shop. We have Louise that has a, boutique, you can get custom garments made here. You have a designer clothing at Vibe. You can get all of the unique gifts you'd ever wanted at all of our other custom stores. So let's concentrate and keep those dollars local and keep the economy booming here, and not worry about what's going to go into those other locations and what's going to come in and out. We can't worry about any of that anymore. So that's great. We're looking forward to that in the future. But tell me a little bit about, you were one of the first advocates of Main Street and one of the first
my
real
gosh.
champions of that. Tell me about that.
So it had started in 2000, actually started before that. So
Right.
I was the chair of the downtown committee, I guess
Yes.
it would be called. And then there was this thing called Main Streets, because it is a national organization. And then Oregon decided to be a part of that. And so there was an application, and we had one of the rare individuals filled out this horrendous application.
Yes.
And it was like
it was.
It's long.
huge.
Horrendous.
I've seen it.
And so what's so amazing, though, I remember when the Dalles was accepted was because of our incredible inventory of historical buildings. We weren't those communities that just got rid of them all.
Right.
And so because of that, we had such a potential for restoring them, which is a big part of Main Street's grant programs that they have.
Their 4-point approach, yes.
Yeah.
Historical preservation is a big part of it.
Right, that and the economics and the organization and the marketing. So when we were doing starting the Main Street, I got to say, in my tenure, which ended in 2019, it was like $600,000 in grants that were brought in. And it's just really neat to see all the good that Main Street has done.
Yeah, it's really helped revitalize the bringing back the boom of what the Dalles had been before previously, and what it can be for the future.
And and I wanted to say, following up on your, shopping downtown, is because I've seen it. Tom mentioned I was down here in 2004, is we would grow a little bit, plateau and grow a little bit. But right now, the mix we have downtown is the best I have ever seen.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It is
Every
so neat.
great.
Every block has really some really strong shops.
Oh, yeah.
Every restaurants, different different mix of different retail.
I ate at Enza the other day, and I was at River City Saloon, and both just fantastic. Great
Right.
service, great food. I'm just seeing a lot of good stuff. I would add to that too, though, that you kind of you started with a clothing shop down there in 2004, but then we had the additions of like Kenya at
Terracotta.
Oh,
and
then Lindsay has just opened another, isn't that
Firefly,
right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you kind of have created this little hub. It's awesome, and you've kind of been there for the whole thing, right?
So I got to share a story about Kenya. So when she had started her store, she was on a side street, if you remember.
Yeah, she was over by.
And so she was trying to decide whether she should move up to 2nd Street, on the same block.
Yeah.
And I pushed her so hard, saying, you've got to do this. Because it creates the shopping hub, like you were saying. And that is so important, is to have this where people
to create
walk.
these little triangles and little venues of that is really important too. And I think that's happening all over downtown. And when we make these big changes, with the Federal Street Plaza, when we're working on that, we're bringing the parklets back this summer.
Oh,
that's a big exciting thing that gets to happen. Doing that is creating those kind of hangout spaces and stuff, gathering spots. Yeah, that's a big move. So we're excited to see that happen.
Oh yeah, it is really neat to see. Each block has something like you're saying. And then what's neat to see is that after hours, you see things happening. Like there's music events, at Wines on 2nd.
Yep.
We had that big event this last weekend.
Yeah, Grand Dalles. Yeah, that was great.
Oh my
Blues
gosh.
Fest. Yeah, that was really fun. That was really cool to see a lot of people coming in from outside the community. So that's great.
Yeah, 3-day fest here in the Dalles. And the inaugural, the first, Jonathan pulled it off.
Hopefully
so
we'll
good.
get lots more.
Organizers, right?
Yeah.
So I can't wait. I'm going to debrief with him and chat about
good.
how
We'll
it
have to
all things went.
maybe we should have him on and talk about it some more.
We should.
We should definitely add him to the agenda.
Yeah.
So let's talk about maybe come back from a break and talk about First Friday.
Sounds great,
Okay,
Cynthia.
let's do that.
Right. We'll be back right in a moment.
Hey friend, if you're having a tough time right now, you're not alone. Whether you're dealing with stress, mental health challenges, emotional pain, or concerns about alcohol or drug use, there's someone here ready to listen. Just dial or text 988 anytime, day or night. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here for you 24/7, 365 days a year. It's free, it's confidential, and it's available to anyone. Yes, even if you're reaching out for someone else. The counsellors in 988 are trained, caring, and judgment-free. They're ready to talk, to listen, and to help you or someone you care about get through a difficult moment. You matter, your story matters, and help is just 3 numbers away. Call, text, or chat 988 anytime, anywhere.
We're back. All right. We're talking with Cynthia Corchi with the Dalles Main Street, Louise Lang-Heinrich with Lines of Design. And we're going to jump in a little bit into what's happening tomorrow.
So tomorrow is First Friday. We're celebrating summer for June 6th. We're kicking that off for the hot weather season. So it's dads and grads downtown. So all the fun starts 5 p.m. We got lots of music, special promotion, activities. Just a quick rundown of some of the things we have going on. Looks like Skookum Outfitters at the Wasco County Mercantile has some great gifts for Father's Day, and all the graduates on your list. They have Benchmade knives now. That's an Oregon-made company, and all of your fly fishing needs, of course. But then they have much more than that. They have sunglasses and sleeping bags, all your camping supplies, and much more. They have reef sandals, Birkenstocks, fry boots, Sorel shoes. And then they also always bring in Pizza The Gathering for specialty pizzas on First Fridays. Marikai Beauty, Pacific Northwest, they have offering a 10% off in their store. Down at Vibe Consignment, Karina and her team have Ben Jovi performing. And also style activist Judith Rizzo is here. Rizzo.
Yeah.
And giving personal style tips for customers to celebrate Pride.
Okay.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
The Artisan Market's featuring local photographer Fred Loring. He specializes in prints on aluminum, wood, and postcards. Those are really cool. Have you seen those? Yeah.
Huh.
And they also have some red sunflower starters. They'll have fresh popcorn, treats, and fresh flowers. Louise, we just spoke, is launching her first phase of the fabric store featuring apparel fabric, and then learning more about her future plans. And then she's got some iced tea samples from the Tea Traveler's Nook. Urban Paper's joining in on the fun with some summer discounts, showcasing new products and a make and take activity there. Breezeway Antiques is doing a raffle drawing for a $100 gift certificate, which is super cool. Yeah. And then I'm not going to butcher the Spanish name for our new big welcome to Lagosa Posteras.
Yeah.
So our new little shop down next to 15 Mile Winery.
I looked them up, and they do some really interesting things.
Delicious. They have the strawberry and cream special, and then they also have their street dogs to celebrate summer. They'll have those available. Right. So they just did their ribbon cutting last month, so we welcome them. There'll be a lot more going on, too. Right. Those are just some of the things that we're featuring.
Always a great potpourri when you head downtown, because you never know what you're going to run into and find. Like, I kind of love the spontaneity of it, because people bring in, get a band or a musical or musician or something like that.
Little Music City always has somebody going and somebody playing, and lots of things going on downtown. So it'll be lots of fun. The weather will be beautiful, and the people will be out and about. So definitely come check everything out downtown and join us for First Friday. We'd love to have you. See you downtown.
Great. And that starts at 5 p.m.?
It's 5 p.m. Usually everyone runs until about 8 or 9, just depending on the happenings of TD.
Yeah, right. And just kind of 2nd, 3rd Street. And it's awesome.
Yeah, 2nd, 3rd, all the way up to 4th sometimes. There's even some things at the Dalles Art Center, I'm sure.
Yes. Very good.
Check that out for sure.
Yeah. Well, very good. Well, it sounds like we've got a lot going on. I know there's always a lot going down downtown. I just in recent weeks we've learned of a few new things happening. The Rose Building has sold under contract from Roger Howe to Tom Peters, who has Shadowbuck Winery, and maybe you're familiar with that, Cynthia. Have you? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was fascinating. I looked it up, and he went off the grid to do that vineyard, which is kind of a nice wrinkle. Yeah. Interesting.
So his grandson was in my son's class. Okay. And he actually went to school to become a vintner. And so he came back and is helping with that. And
great. So it's a family
run operation. Yeah. So that's really, really great. So it's exciting. They're going to, right now they have some for sale out at the market out at Dufur. Okay. But they're also going to, looks like they're going to hopefully have a little wine market there
Yeah.
at some point. So that's exciting.
That is, and that's just down the street from you, right? That's a block away. I have
Right,
that
right. And then I heard about his plans for the roof.
Yes, rooftop.
Oh my gosh! It's because
We
I
need a
used to
rooftop.
because I used to be in that building. I would go up on the roof, and I got to tell you, it's very nice up there.
Oh, is it? Okay, great.
Yeah, their view is incredible.
Yeah, we need more rooftop. We have
Yeah.
there is some rooftop potential here in the Dalles.
I know. I totally
The Bayer
agree.
building has a great rooftop potential.
Yeah.
Well, Sunshine has a great rooftop, of course.
Yeah.
There's lots of rooftop things that we could
Yeah.
do. So that will be awesome.
Yeah, it would be a nice and like you got views of the Columbia River there.
Oh, yeah.
Lewis and Clark Park, fireworks. On the 4th of July. I mean, like
We're a month
Yep.
away.
Yeah.
Fireworks is happening.
seasonally, probably you could get 6 months, probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
at
yeah.
least. Sunny 300 days a year.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
At least that's
Yeah.
great.
So what a
And
nice-
there's also talk of another wine happening down at the former Craig building.
Okay.
We should actually call it the Corchi building. We own
Corchi
that.
building.
We owned that building for a long time. I don't know why the Craigs get the name it. Jeff's
Yeah.
grandpa bought that.
Yeah.
60.
David Brown,
Yeah,
I believe,
yeah.
is.
Yeah, they
okay.
have they had a vineyard out on 3 Mile.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And so they had bought that years ago, and they just hadn't had an opportunity. They've been really working hard on their vineyard out on 3 Mile, and haven't really had any opportunities to deal with the downtown space
Sure.
yet. So, but had finally gone to urban renewal and did not a formal request for any planning or anything,
right.
but is looking to maybe start to engage in bringing something there. So that's great too.
Yeah.
Because that'll be right on the new Federal Street Plaza
All right.
corner, and so
Yeah,
lots of
so-
changes happening there too.
What a great opportunity for him, especially with the Federal Street Plaza,
Correct.
going ahead.
Right, that's moving forward for sure.
That'll be quite a draw. And I don't know that I don't think I've had 3 Mile wine. Have you guys tried 3 Mile wine? No. So we should all do that maybe the next time we get
maybe have to
together.
go on a winery
Yeah.
tour.
We take the show on the
Maybe
road.
we need to get him as part of our wine walk.
Yeah.
We should talk to him and see if he can be part of that.
Oh,
That's a great idea.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
idea.
I'll talk
Yeah.
to him and see if they can participate in that for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe a little taste test preview.
Right.
to do that. So yeah, and I know that they're looking at they don't have any sort of dates yet, but they are definitely looking to kind of go back to urban renewal with some other future plans of making that happen.
So that's 3 different kind of ideas that are kind of plans that are in their seminal beginnings, of course, but that are coming together. And the third one being the Sunshine Mill. James and Molly and Natasha are talking
Yeah.
about a spa and resort, 80 rooms possibly in the silos. And so again, when you kind of start thinking about big picture, does that create a destination location,
Yeah.
the Dalles becoming this place where, we can go try all these different wines. And,
Right.
Well,
Well, that's interesting that you say that, because the other day our new economic development officer,
Yes.
new to the area, actually asked this question at our Main Street board meeting was, what draws visitors and locals alike? What draws them to downtown the Dalles?
right.
We all kind of were like, looked at each other, what is that? What is that answer? And how can we answer that? And, there's a multitude of ways to answer that, right? So, and how do we do that succinctly?
Right.
How do we do that in the elevator pitch, really
Yes.
quickly of, these are the things that you can do, come see the historical buildings and our beautiful murals and all of, those, shop and all of those things. But then also what else is the draw for that? The sweet cherries and the agricultural roots and, what are the things that are bringing you here? So, and how do we get back to that? So, that's interesting that what are we known for? What is the Dalles all about?
Right. It's creating an identity, right? And that's a difficult thing to do. It's not, kind of creating a general consensus around a single idea.
Everybody always has a different idea of what that is. So sometimes that's hard to coalesce around that.
it could be a lot of different things.
It could be.
Yeah, and we'll just kind of wait. We'll see what comes together.
Keep that in mind and percolate around that a little bit.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we're still all here, kind of doing the hard work, right? Doing the big push to keep things going downtown. And I know we were chatting a little bit earlier before the show, talking about kind of some of the impacts from tariffs and that kind of thing. And Louise, you kind of were talking about it. It's starting to show up a little bit. Some things that making it.
It's starting to ripple through. Like I said at the beginning before we became on air is I just heard from one of my suppliers, and it's a shoe company out of Brazil, and they are not going to produce fall products. They've chosen. So here's something that doesn't even have the tariffs as high as what China has, but I was told that fall products will not be produced. Another business downtown told me that they heard that they were lucky that they had good inventory right now because things are way behind and they just don't see how they're going to get stuff shipped. and other suppliers I'm seeing within the fabric and notions industry is the tariffs are trickling in on fabric. I have suppliers telling me that. And then also some of the notions are just getting pulled off of their websites, the wholesalers, because they don't even know if they're going to get manufactured again.
Yeah, so really the Christmas supplies are going to be, not only the prices are
rough.
higher. Yeah, it's like I see it like a 38 to 50% hike in price, but you also have no supply.
Right. So
it's not even available.
So you're really going to have to support your local businesses because we're all, going to be hit by this. And you're going to get hit by this no matter where you go, actually.
Right. Yeah. And coming off of the pandemic and, seemingly, it seems kind of one hit after another.
Well, so what's interesting is, the last 2 years for downtown the Dalles, I've noticed that we've had a little bit of an economic slump, and partly. And it's interesting because we did come back strong after the pandemic because the tour boats that were here, they did spend. So 22 was a really good year for downtown, but 23 and 24, we really got hit. And I have to say it was because the tour boat passengers weren't here. They were shipped off to other areas.
But now they're back.
Well, now they're back. So, but we're holding our breath because I think the consumer is being very careful with their dollars, and rightly so.
Right.
It's a little rough.
Back up and all of those other concerns around out there, so stuff. So
well, it's just I would just give you a pat on the back and all the other folks who are having to flex and find new ways to do things and keep your doors open and keep creating services and opportunities for local people here.
Right.
And filling those needs.
Well, and I wanted to add, when you were talking about what is it the Dalles is known for, and that's something that, on my days is the downtown and then Main Street. The core of what the downtown is sort of, the Dalles, is we have been like a working hub for the surrounding area.
Yes.
And I think that's always going to be our basis. So even now, as things, because we look at who our customer base is, and we've got an 80-mile trade radius.
Haven't we been the trade center for 10,000 years? Where the Indians came and it's been here. It's where the pioneers came and everybody.
So
continue to do that.
In terms of what we can work on, I mean, we've got incredible history. Right. The geology, the tribal history. And I got to say, people love that stuff. They really do.
Yeah. Well, it's fascinating, and it's really great. So let's take a quick break and then come back and talk a little bit more about what's happening throughout town.
Okay, let's do it. All right, we'll be right back. Hey, Josh, did you know that we are funded by our readers in large part?
I did know that, but please tell me more.
Yeah, it's our local readers here that make it possible for us to go out and gather news on local businesses and important issues in our community. And so we need people to support local news. Did you know you can make a difference in our community's economy and culture by supporting local journalism? I bet you did. but maybe you out there don't. And so you should visit our Support Us page at cccnews.com to subscribe to a monthly donation to keep news local and start making a difference in our community today. Again, that's cccnews.com.
And remember, CCC News is available for everyone and funded by readers.
And we're back. All right, we're chatting today with Cynthia Corchi and Louise Langheinrich. We're talking a little bit about downtown The Dalles, the current economic situation, and how folks are flexing and that kind of thing. Yeah. So I think that was a great conversation we were just having off film here about. Could you say that again for me, Louise?
All right.
A tradable?
So it was an economic article I just read where they talk about the importance of, and it was sort of saying about how we want manufacturing jobs back because we become a tradable sector, meaning that when you have a business sector that brings in jobs, that has a product or a service that is sold out of the area, you're bringing in those outside dollars. So for rural communities like ours,
Right.
if you're not bringing in the manufacturing jobs anymore, which in our area is a little iffy.
It would be hard to do with no land to build them on.
So I got to add to that also. But anyway, so then you become you can work on the destination tourism, which is then important. And so this concept of what you're talking about with these different destinations. But I got to say something about that land business. Back in 2008, I ran into this incredibly intelligent woman who had worked in Salem all her career in politics. And when I was bemoaning the economic development of the Dalles at the time, she looked at me and goes, "Louise, you are thinking so small." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "Look at this as a region." So if you look at it as a region, there is enough land, and we're already starting the conversation there. I mean, granted, it's 17 years later, but people are finally realizing that you have to look beyond the what's in it for me, because that's what was the sticking point back in 2008, 2010, is people would say, "Oh, we're not getting any money from over there, Louise." And I'm like, if you develop an area, so look at all the other places in the U.S. where they have regional development,
Right.
but you've got people moving in, you've got the jobs, you've got the businesses.
Where it marches.
It ripples.
Right.
So that's
ripples
something we
outward.
need to look at economically.
Yeah, I agree. It'll move.
Anyway, a
move.
little segue there.
A good one though. I appreciate it. And I kind of looked at other communities. Like have you been to Leavenworth or
Right.
And they put all their baskets into kind of this German,
Bavarian thing,
Bavarian type thing, and I'm like, that's not us. I don't think that's it.
Sure.
But we are. I think we put our finger on a few of the points. They're obviously history, geology, our location within the Mid Columbia, on the
Well,
edge.
and we do benefit definitely from the marching growth of our neighbors.
Yes.
To the west and to Central Oregon. That's getting
Right.
older, populated. And that tends to come here and get a little. We're way more laid back, slower pace. No traffic. People enjoy that.
They do.
That's you don't have. If you get annoyed going across town because it takes
It's 3 minutes, 7 minutes.
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. So that's a benefit. I mean, and that's a selling point.
Totally. I mean, I moved here from Bend.
Right.
And I was glad to leave Bend.
At the time.
Yeah.
Now it's even worse.
Yeah, I suppose. I haven't been back.
Right. Right.
But yeah.
And the opportunities to do that.
that rings
and
true with
and
me.
I said this in 2019 as well, you can see kind of those tipping points over
Right.
the years. And the Dalles was right there, and then the pandemic hit. And so there had been, there was really kind of a step back, but we're there again. We're definitely there again.
Yeah.
We're ready to kind of explode. There's all these growth opportunities, a lot of big changes. The Rayland, did you see the pool's out?
Yeah, they took
Yes.
the pool
Yeah,
out.
Bremnick's
and
here doing
here comes
that.
The
That's
coffee
exciting.
shop.
Yeah, the coffee shop's coming in there. And so I see Rage Graphics got the Windy got a new facelift on their building. thing.
Now,
So
was
that's-
that a Main Street project? Was that a
that
facade
was-
renovation?
No,
Just
it
something they're
wasn't
doing on
something
their
that
own.
we did. Yeah, just something
Great.
they did on their
Good
own.
for them.
Yeah, so that was good. I haven't really seen any other faceless stuff. Sigmund's their grant project, they received the Oregon Main Street grant 2 years ago. That project is moving right along. They're doing a renovation of exterior windows, all their trim,
Yeah.
awnings, that sort of thing. And then they're moving to the interior, doing some apartments. And that's moving forward. And they're making some great progress with that. So we should have some movement with that this summer as well.
Yeah, you should be seeing transom windows going in
Yes,
here
their
real soon.
transoms should be on there. This in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, I was doing an update for them soon. The farmers market opens this weekend.
Okay.
At the city park.
City Park. Very good.
So that's super exciting. We're doing the we're restoring the mural at the Umatilla House.
Yes.
We did get the funding in place for that. So that's for sure happening. Let me see here. Oh, we do have to send our condolences to the Vikuteran family. We lost our great historian Carl, our mural committee member. He will be missed.
Definitely. He was a big part here. He was always
boy.
contributing for us. And,
Yeah.
He
and
is-
families. I mean, I don't know. He presided over a couple of things from our family, and
For sure.
very helpful.
So helpful.
Person. Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, we're excited to and want to congratulate our friends over at the Dalles Chamber of Commerce. They were awarded the tourism contract for the city. And they're going to be able to hire a new tourism coordinator with that,
I saw that.
which I think is going to be really great. That's something that I think has been a real struggle for being able to concentrate, having, just being able to do all of the other tasks that the chamber has to do and trying to balance those things. But do you want to just have somebody just doing tourism? Yes,
Right.
do that.
Yeah.
Just kind of separate those things out. I think
Right.
it's going to be a
Focus point.
is going to be really beneficial for everyone involved with that. It looks like the city council has their budget adopted and will move forward with all of those points on Monday at the joint city council meeting.
Yeah, they gotta do a
With that
resolution. Get it
resolution to get all of that
And
passed.
by any chance, do you know what's going on with all the dirt work behind in that? It's the sunken lot across from the Baldwin. The city owns that. It's behind the Legion. Well,
behind like Last Stop and all that.
and all that.
I do not know what's going on back there. We
Yeah.
should
Do
find
not
out.
know.
Yeah, it's
Good
a
tip,
curiosity.
Louise.
Yeah, there's a lot of dirt work going
Yeah.
on.
There is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember reading
Is
something
that
about.
part of the first streetscape project? It might be.
Boy,
I don't know. We'll find out.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure.
We'll find out. I did see Victor Johnson's doing a new lunchtime concert series at the library.
All right.
That's happening, so that's exciting.
All right.
I don't know what else. We're gearing up for the Fort Dalles 4th.
Yeah.
Is less than a month away. So if you haven't done so already, get your Ford
Yeah.
parade entries in.
Oh, yeah.
We want to make sure we have. There's lots of activity planned. I know they have a breakfast going. They have a kids.
You want a rollerblade? in
I
the
do
parade?
not. I can't. Tom, have you seen? No,
I can't eat.
I am not. No. I'll maybe walk in the parade, but I will not rollerblade with you. So, if you have not done so, there's also the veterans banners will go up here
Oh, right.
shortly.
Yeah.
Just probably
Is that Optimus printers to go to kind on that?
Optimus printers, yes, they do all the printing for those. So if you haven't got your veterans banners, please do. All those funds go to the fireworks to make that happen. So things are really, we're really sliding into summer here.
Yeah.
Things are getting really, really busy. Do have to give one plug to our wine walk, our fundraiser, our summer fundraiser for the Dalles Main Street. Our Uncorked Wine Walk is happening August 9th this year, and that will happen throughout downtown. Louise is hosting a winery. I think we have 15 wineries already.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe some more
Yeah.
now that we have,
Right.
2 more wineries coming downtown tasting rooms and that sort of thing. So those will be paired up with different businesses throughout downtown. That's Cruise the Gorge weekend. So the Cruise In will be on Friday night. We're hosting the Wine Walk Saturday night. It's also Thrashing Bee weekend.
And that's the car show then.
Car show.
Both in Duffer and up at Cirrhosis
Yes,
Park, right?
yes,
You
I
can
think
follow each
so.
other.
I think so.
Yeah.
So big weekend for that. So stay tuned for some more details coming out. Summer sipping. We're doing some rosés and some frosés and all sorts of fun
Great.
stuff for that. Tickets available on Eventbrite if you're ready to purchase your tickets for that event moving forward. And then I did want to let everybody know that our next podcast we're doing in July will be with River City Saloon. Joe and Claire are going to join us. for that.
Oh, serious? That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, we're having them come join us for that. Our next first Friday is actually the 4th of July. So we're kind of taking a poll on our business.
That's an interesting problem, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an interesting problem to have. We're going to. I'm talking with our business owners and seeing because some are wanting to maybe take a long weekend.
Yeah.
Some are going to take advantage of having Fort Dalles 4th events happening. So we're going to kind of take a poll and see who's going to be open and who's not.
Okay. So,
and what events are going to be happening. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned, right?
We'll have a the full itinerary available
and
next month.
Send us your information. We'll get it out on CCC News.
Absolutely. We'll be able to do that. So well, thank you so much, Louise, for being here. We so enjoyed having you here and listening to your perspective and all of your history and knowledge and everything about this. And we're very excited about the fabric store.
Yeah.
My mom is going to be so thrilled.
Yeah.
She can't wait.
Yeah.
She probably has some fabric she could donate to the fabric
I know.
store.
We all have our stash, don't we?
She who dies with the most fabric wins,
gosh.
right? Isn't that the saying?
Yeah.
And
Well, I would just add to that just the uniqueness and the incredible tenacity that owners like you have. Louise, are just awesome to have in our community.
Oh, thank you. I know. I love the Dalles. Always have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, keep up the good work.
Yes,
Thank
absolutely.
you both for coming today.
Thank you, Tom.
All
Thanks,
right.
Tom.
And we're out. Hey, Josh, have you heard of downtownthedalles.org?
I haven't. Who are they?
Well, it's part of the Dalles Main Street. They have a new website to connect you to local retailers, neighbors, and friends in the downtown business core. It's downtownthedalles.org. Again, that's downtownthedalles.org. The website offers an A to Z listing of our neighbors and friends for all sorts of retail and service businesses here in the Dalles. Restaurants, florists, fun and exciting retail, music, antiques, clothes, and more. It's all here. Experience the magic of downtown the Dalles. Brought to you by the Dalles Main Street, uplifting businesses through promotional events, improvements, grants, and networking.
What was that website one more time?
That's downtownthedalles.org.